Welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. It is 6:37 p.m. in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. The title plate is from yesterday. We had some technical difficulties, so we could not do the show yesterday. Technical difficulties. We got them fixed up, though, and I think we're ready to do the show today. So here we go. Beautiful. Still working in a half studio. My green screen's down and all sorts of craziness going on apparently lately. And we'll just have to deal with that as we deal with it. We're going to bring this up a little bit. There it is. Well, okay. Anyway, close enough. But what I've been working on is the first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide section on magic items. We went through the tables for spells and potions and scrolls, and now we're going through the descriptions. We're currently just beyond heroism in the potions, so we'll continue with human control from there. Let me bring it over into a larger screen for me. Human control. A potion of human control allows the imbiber to control up to 32 levels, or hit dice, of humans, humanoids, demi-humans, as if a charm person spell had been cast. And the human types to be controlled are entitled to a saving throw versus magic. Any pluses on hit dice are rounded down to the lowest whole die. 1 plus 2. 1 hit die plus 2 points is just 1 hit die. 2 plus 6 is still 2. The type of humans which can be controlled is randomly determined on the table below using a 20-sided die. 1 to 2 dwarves, 3 to 4 elves or half-elves. Now remember, elves are immune to charm. So this is sort of a way around that, right? 5 or 6, you get gnomes. 7 or 8, halflings. 9 or 10, half-orcs. 11 to 16, humans proper. 17 to 19, humanoids. That is, gnolls, orcs, goblins, etc. And it doesn't make you decide which one right away either. So, could be all of them. On a natural 20, elves, half-elves, and humans are all potentially controlled by this potion. The potion lasts for 5 to 30 rounds. Now that is not the vague, could last forever sort of thing that Charm Person does, so at least it's limited in that way. I don't use half-orcs in my campaign, so I would just add 9 through 16 as humans. And there you go. I'm not sure why Natural 20 has elves, half-elves, and humans without the others, respectively. I would potentially want to change that and make it any or all, so that if you do it amongst a miscellaneous group that includes dwarves, gnomes, halflings, humans, elves, and half-elves, I would throw that in there. I might be tempted, if I was starting a new campaign, to retro this so it doesn't work against half-elves or elves, since they're immune to charm spells anyway, because I feel like this falls into that. I mean, it says as if a charm person had been cast, so why would it not? Why would it still work on them? In any event, I might cut that out. It's something to tempt me to change. Your mileage may vary. Invisibility is the next one. Oh goody. When this potion is consumed, it confers invisibility, similar to the spell of the same name, as actions involving combat cause termination of the non-visible state, the individual possessing the potion can quaff a single gulp equal to 1/8 of the contents of the container to bestow invisibility for 3 to 6 turns. Well, that's quite a long time for a half hour to an hour. So you could go from 4 to 8 hours drinking this whole thing. Now, you don't know when it's going to end. That's always one of those interesting things about early Dungeons and Dragons, is that things like that can really throw a player off, and they're fun. There's a tension built into that. Sounds like I've got a motorcycle going past. We'll keep going anyway. Invulnerability. This potion confers immunity to non-magical weapons and attacks from creatures with no magical properties. Creatures only struck by magical weapons section is referred to there. Or with fewer than 4 hit dice. Thus, an 8th level character without a magical weapon could not harm the imbiber of an invulnerability potion. It further improves armor class rating by 2 classes and gives a bonus of +2 to the individual on his or her saving throws versus all forms of attack. Its effects are realized only when the entire potion is consumed, and they last for 5 to 20 rounds. Only fighters can use this potion. So there you go. That's a nice little jump into the fray after drinking this, and see how long you stand. Hold back the army as the rest of the party escapes. Hold off the hordes. Certainly it's a useful thing. Levitation. A levitation potion enables the consumer to levitate in much the same manner as the second level magic user spell of the same name. You can always check the spells out in the player's handbook for these. The potion allows levitation of the individual only, subject to a maximum weight of 6,000 gold piece equivalent. So, it is possible that the individual drinking the potion could carry another person. So there you go. We get Luisa from Encanto, and she can pick up, what, six mules? So there you go. Longevity. The longevity potion reduces the character's game age by from 1 to 12 years when it is imbibed. But each time one is drunk, there is a 1% chance cumulative 1% cumulative chance that it will have the effect of reversing all age removal from previously consumed longevity potions. The potion otherwise restores youth and vigor. It is also useful to counter magical or magical-based aging attacks. The entire potion must be consumed to achieve the results. Well, there you go. Oil of etherealness. This potion is actually a light oil which is applied externally to the dress and exposed flesh, that is, clothing and exposed flesh. It then confers etherealness. In the ethereal state, the individual can pass through solid objects, sideways, upwards, downwards, or to different planes. Naturally, the individual cannot touch non-ethereal objects. The oil takes effect 3 rounds after application, and it lasts 4 plus 1d4 turns, unless removed with a weak acidic solution prior to the expiration of the normal effective duration. So, lemon juice. It can be applied to objects as well as creatures. 1 potion is sufficient to anoint a normal human and such gear as he or she typically carries. 2 to 3 weapons, garments, armor, shield, and the usual miscellaneous gear carried. Ethereal individuals are invisible. Well, they don't put the quotes in, but I'm putting the quotes in. Phase door spell and travel in the unknown planes of existence hereafter. So yeah, you can check out that spell phase door for some more enlightenment on how that works, and read up the section later in this book, the DMG, on travel in the known planes of existence. Oil of slipperiness. We'll try to get as many as these done as we can since we missed yesterday. Similar to the oil of etherealness described above, this liquid is to be applied externally. This application makes it impossible for the individual to be grabbed or grasped, hugged by an opponent, or constricted by snakes or tentacles. Note that a roper could still inflict weakness, but that the monster's tentacles could not entwine the opponent coated with the oil of slipperiness. In addition, such obstructions as webs, magical or otherwise, will not affect an anointed individual, and bonds such as ropes, manacles, and chains can be slipped free. Magical ropes and the like are not effective against this oil. If poured on a floor or on steps, there is a 95% chance per round that creatures standing on the surface will slip and fall. The oil lasts 8 hours to wear off normally, or it can be wiped off with an alcohol solution, such as wine. So there you go. That's a fun one. You can definitely pour it in front of individuals to slow them down when they're trying to chase you. The filter of love. This is one that probably is a non-starter in the modern age. It just reeks of lack of agency in regard to triggered violations, that sort of thing. This potion is such as to cause the individual drinking it to become charmed. Any charm spells with the first creature seen after consuming the draught, or actually become enamored and charmed if the creature is of similar race or of the opposite sex. Charming effects wear off in 4 plus 1d4 terms, but the enamored effects last until a dispel magic spell is cast upon the individual. So the idea is that you'll be completely charmed for the shorter period of time than a charm spell normally works. But Dispel Magic, you'll still feel some affection, or at least not animosity, toward that individual, continuing after that time, unless a Dispel Magic is cast. So yeah, this is one of those, and like with human control, those are the kinds of things that I think risk harming individuals who may have some distressing real world experience in a similar vein. So just be careful with them, I guess is the best thing to say. Filter of persuasiveness. When this potion is imbibed, the individual becomes more charismatic. Thus, he or she gains a bonus of 25% on reaction die rolls. The individual is also able to suggest, the magic user suggestion spell is worth looking up, once per turn to as many creatures as are within range of 30 feet 3 inches of him or her. So this is a charisma enhancer, and 25% on reaction rolls is a pretty good bonus. The ability to cast suggestion spells once per turn is a big deal. It does not say how long the potion lasts, so that's something worth considering. And I would limit it a fair bit. But you could have more than one of them, and follow one up with another, I imagine, or overlap them, I suppose, if that's possible, to have to know when it's going to end and to drink a second one before the last one starts. Never a bad idea. Next thing we got is plant control. Plant control, a plant control potion, enables the individual who consumed it to influence the behavior of vegetable life forms, including normal plants, fungi, and even molds and shambling mounds, within the parameters of their normal abilities. An imbiber can cause the vegetable forms to remain still or silent, move, entwine, etc., according to their limits. Vegetable monsters with intelligence of 5 or higher are entitled to a saving throw versus magic. Plants within a 20 by 20 square foot area, I guess, can be controlled subject to the limitations set forth above for from 5 to 20 rounds. Self-destructive control is not directly possible if the plants are intelligent. You should see also the Charm Plant spell. Control range is 90 feet, which is a pretty good range, really. Poison, a poison potion, is simply a highly toxic liquid in a potion flask. Typically, poison potions are odorless and of any color. Ingestion, introduction of the potion through a break in the skin or possibly just skin contact will cause death. Poison can be weak, +4 to +1 on saving throws, average or deadly, -1 to -4 or more on the saving throw. Such poison can be such that a neutralized poison spell will simply lower the toxicity level by 40%, say -4 to +4 to a +4 on the saving throw potion. You might wish to allow characters to hurl poison flasks. You can see the combat section for more information on that. Polymorph Self, the potion duplicates the effects of a 4th level magic user spell of the same name. Let us not forget, 7th, got to be 7th level magic user to cast a 4th level spell. So that would be the minimum you would want to use for the spell ranges and things like that. Speed. A potion of speed increases the movement and combat capabilities of the imbiber by 100%. Thus, a movement rate of 90 becomes 180, and a character normally able to attack but once per round will gain double attacks in a round. Note that this does not reduce spellcasting time. However, read the haste spell for that. Use of a speed potion ages the individual by 1 year. The other effects last for 5 to 20 rounds. The aging is permanent. So yeah, it's something if you mess with, you're going to wind up with a potentially shorter lifespan, or at least getting older faster. So that could be problematic. Superheroism. The potion gives the individual a temporary increase in life energy levels if he or she has fewer than 13 levels of experience. So you got to be under 13 in the start. And much like with heroism, the level of the consumer makes the difference, and then the number of energy levels bestowed are greater the lower level you are, 6 up to 2, and 10-sided dice for accumulated damage bestowed. That is how much damage you can take. A 0-level individual drinking a superheroism potion would gain 5 10-sided dice of hit points. While a 10th or 12th level, 1 plus 4 points. So you'd roll a d10, you get an extra 4 points after that. So the closer you are to being superheroic, the less this will affect you or help you. It is otherwise the same as a heroism potion, but its effects last from but 5 to 30 melee rounds. Melee. Sweet water. This liquid is not actually a potion to be drunk, but if it is drunk, it will taste good. But it is to be added to other liquids in order to change them to pure drinkable water. It will neutralize poison and ruin magic potions. No saving throw. Let me click something over there. There we go. And ruin magic potions with no saving throw for the potion. The contents of the container will change up to 100,000 cubic feet of polluted or salt or alkaline water to fresh water. It will turn up to 1,000 cubic feet of acid into pure water. The effects. Oh, here we go. Where's it at? I lost my thing. There it is. The effects of the potion are permanent but subject to later contamination or infusion after an initial period of 5 to 20 rounds. So yeah, if the drinking supply of a castle, for instance, becomes poisoned, it can be made fresh again. That's a pretty useful thing. If a pond is sullied by undead or some such, one could clean that up as well. It's pretty useful in certain specific circumstances. Certainly, if you're doing a dungeon crawl and it's one of those dungeon crawls where you're actually camping or staying in the dungeon and you're looking for a fresh water supply, pretty useful for that. Treasure finding. A potion of treasure finding empowers the drinker with a location sense so that he or she can point to the direction of the nearest mass of treasure. So a couple of coins is not going to trip the trigger of this thing and foil it from locating a larger hoard of treasure. The treasure must be within 24 inches, 240 feet or less, and its mass must equal metal of at least 10,000 copper pieces or 100 gems or any combination thereof. Note that only valuable metals, copper, silver, electrum, gold, platinum, etc., and gems and jewelry, of course, are located. Worthless metals or magic without precious metals or gems are not found. So if there's just a magical sword nearby, that's not going to attract the direction finding of this treasure finding potion. The consumer of the potion can feel the direction in which the treasure lies, but not its distance. Intervening substances other than special magical wards and lead-lined walls will not withstand the powers which the liquor bestows upon the individual. The effects of the potion last from 5 to 20 rounds. Clever players will attempt triangulation. So there you go. You got to start moving as soon as you cast it or as soon as you drink it so that you can get a bead on where that actually is and triangulate a location, at least when mapping, so that if it wears off before you find the treasure, you have something to go on. How we doing? 24 minutes? Let's knock these out. Undead control. This potion, in effect, gives the imbiber the ability to charm certain undead, ghast, ghost, ghouls, shadows, skeletons, specters, wights, wraiths, vampires, and zombies. The charming ability is similar to the magic user's spell Charm Person. You can check the spell out later. It affects a maximum of 16 hit dice of undead, rounding down any hit point additions to hit dice to the lowest die. 4 plus 1 equals 4 hit dice. The undead are entitled to saving throws versus magic only if they have intelligence. Saving throws are made at -2 due to the power of the potion, but the effects wear off in from 5 to 20 rounds. To determine the type of undead affected by this particular potion, roll a d10 and consult the following table. Ghosts, ghouls, shadows, skeletons, specters, wights, wraiths, vampires, and zombies. It's alphabetical. And then our last potion to deal with, water breathing. It is 75% likely that a water breathing potion will contain 2 doses, 25% probable that there will be 4 in the container. The elixir allows the character drinking it to breathe normally in liquids which contain oxygen suspended within them. This ability lasts for 1 full hour per dose of potion quaffed, plus an additional 1 to 10 rounds, that is minutes, variable. Thus, a character who has consumed a water-breathing potion could enter the depths of a river, lake, or even an ocean and not drowned while the magical effects of the potion persisted. So there you go. That deals with all the potion descriptions. Next time we get together, which I think should be next Monday, we will be here talking about the scrolls and their descriptions. And sorry I didn't get this out yesterday, but here it is, and thank you for being a part of this. Let's pop on over and look at this here and say the show streams live on Twitch each Monday at 10 a.m. Central, and then it's archived on YouTube. If you join us on Twitch, please do follow the channel, and by all means jump in on the chat and chime in. If you're catching up with this on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notifications when new videos are uploaded. And feel free to comment and give us a thumbs up to any videos you watch and enjoy. I want to thank our Patreon supporters. Links are provided in the show notes. Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Rick Hershey of Fat Goblin Games, Carlos Slicing of Castle Entertainment, Keith Farndon of the AD&D 20, Dave O'Brien of Quacks Games, and Shane Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been one day late, and yet it is the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you, everybody, and bye-bye.